Hey, good morning, girl. How are things for you doing? How are things today for you? I really hope they're doing well, and I really hope that you're on vacation right now. After all, it's summer vacation. That's what summer vacations are all about, vacationing. And it would make my heart glad for me to know that you are enjoying your vacation. And in fact, today is the 10th of June, 2019. The 10th of June. Wow, that's amazing. Your birthday is going to be in 11 days, the 21st of June. That's going to be the summer solstice. And dope. Oh my gosh, let me tell you. I am going to be walking in the summer solstice parade on the 22nd of June. And I still haven't put together my costume yet. So I've only got 11 days to pull it off. Oh my gosh. 11 days to pull off a costume? Oh man. I'm really going to have to start putting a lot of thought and energy into it. 11 days is not a lot of time. I'm going to be all 100% parade this week and next week. That's for sure. So, since really I've only got, what is 11 days anyway? Oh my gosh, that's only like a week and a half. Ay, ay, ay. Oh man, there's something, it's kind of funny when life just sneaks up on you sometimes, you know? I've actually been thinking about this for a while, but I just haven't taken as many steps as I'd like to get my costume together for the parade. I'm definitely gonna have to pull something together. The costume is gonna be the Egyptian theme, and I've been watching Katy Perry videos to prep me. Katy Perry has this video with an Egyptian theme, and man, those costumers who put together those music videos for the super music stars, they are amazing. I wish I had access to a costume maker. That would be amazing. Anyway, I kind of do have access to a costume maker. I've got a sewing machine. Never doubt a man with a sewing machine. I'm sure I could pull something together. In fact, I might really have to. You know what I think I might do is I might travel to Santa Maria and go to the fabric store, Joann's fabric store, and pick up a fabric and just do what I can. Have it like an Egyptian fabric. I'm thinking about this alternating silver and pink, sort of a shiny silver and pink fabric. If I could find a fabric like that, that would be amazing. Like an Egyptian themed fabric. Oh, that'd be so awesome. It really just has to be a striped fabric. Some kind of striped fabric with some kind of pink accents. Let me tell you, I want to tell you just how challenging it is for a man to come up with a pink Egyptian costume. I mean, this is not an easy task. Okay. It's not an easy task. It's easy to say, like, oh yeah, just come up with a pink Egyptian costume for a man. It's not easy. I think for a woman, it's might be a little easier. I think really what an Egyptian costume is a toga, basically. So basically, that's what I need to do. I need to be surfing on the web for some kind of toga, and or making a toga. I've actually never been to a toga party, and but now this is going to be. I've got 11 days to pull together a toga party costume. That sounds pretty reasonable. We'll see. I just need to spend more time on it. So that's going to be one of my priorities over the next week and a half, is coming up with some kind of pink toga. Do pink togas even exist? Well, I definitely need to look for one. That's for sure. So I got that going on. And something super fun that I just did this morning. I know. I do all kinds of super fun things all the time. So, on a completely different subject, I just paid for the ticket to go to my 30-year high school reunion in Albuquerque, New Mexico, which I'm going to drive to. And so I'm really excited about that. All that is coming together. I know that there's going to be like a dance floor and a bar. Not that I drink, but there's going to be a photo booth, and there's going to, I don't know, there's going to be all kinds of things going on. So definitely happy to connect with a lot of my high school buds. Now, I have a few high school buds. We'll see if they show up. I don't know. I might just have to go drop by their homes and just say hello, because I have this friend. His name is Michael Stem, and he's just not into stuff like that. And he's not into high school reunions, and I don't think he has been to the last 3 high school reunions. And so I wonder what that's about. I asked him about why he doesn't attend our high school reunions, and he gave me some answer about, why ought I to care about what people, what his explanation was. I guess it didn't matter to him how people were doing or how things were going with them or things like that. Hey, and that's perfectly fine. That's his prerogative. He doesn't have to be curious about how other people are doing in his high school class. It is interesting to me, though, because number one, I have an insatiable curiosity for other people, what they're thinking, what's going on with them, how they are considering the world and sort of conceptualizing it. It's just my thing. It's just what I do. I'm curious about people. I'm a people person, man. So anyway, I am looking forward to my high school reunion, and it's gonna happen really soon. I think I heard that it's gonna happen the 9th of August and the 10th of August, which I think the 9th of August is a Friday. So definitely got to looking forward to that. That's happening so soon. There's just June and then July and August. So man, the summer is fast approaching. In fact, you know what? I really can't believe that it's already the 21st of June. I mean, already we're in the middle of the year. Summer is about to begin. Summer begins on the summer solstice. And summer is really revving up right now. I can feel it in my bones. It's getting warmer outside. I mean, I'm really enjoying the daytime. That sun is really, pressing down on us, all of its heat. I'm so thankful recently. I came across a sunscreen that I really love. It's from Neutrogena. It's a spray-on sunscreen, and it's got a 30 SPF, but it's just so convenient. I'm really loving it. Turns out that I am an aficionado of sunscreen. I'm continuously trying different kinds of sunscreen, like different lotions and different gels and different sticks and different sprays and stuff. Because, well, first of all, I love going out into the sun because I enjoy the sun. I enjoy going to parks, and I like going on picnics, and I like going to the beach, and I like walking around the city and just doing stuff, right? Going to amusement parks and water parks, and all these things happen outdoors. And if I stay in the sun any longer than, 20 minutes, my skin starts to, I see it. I get these, it gets red and it starts to hurt. It's rough. So I throw on the sunscreen. You know, and so in order to feel comfortable, I throw on the sunscreen. I got to protect this face from. I got to keep it beautiful. I got to keep those wrinkles at bay, right? And so I apply my sunscreen, and I do it so often. I really go through a lot of sunscreen, and I'm always looking for a better sunscreen that smells good, sunscreen that applies well, sunscreen that doesn't turn my face a different color. Like a lot of sunscreens, particularly the lotions, they've got this white, it's sort of like a white paste residue. Once the lotion it gets absorbed in the skin, there's this whitish pale color that sort of is retained. And I'm not a fan of it. Because it makes my skin look even more pale than it is. And so I'm continuously struggling to find sunscreen that doesn't make my face look any more pale than it is. In fact, there really are two kinds of sunscreen effects. One of them is that the sunscreen makes your skin look oily. And the other effect is that it makes your skin look like it's like this sort of like a white, sort of like a white residue. So sunscreens have either of those effects, and I'm continuously bouncing between the various varieties of sunscreen. Like, is my skin looking too oily during the day? Maybe I can move on over to the oil-free stuff, but it makes my skin look a little bit like a whiter tint than it normally ought to, and that looks odd. So then I go back to the to the oily variety, and so I continually go back and forth. Now, about a week ago, I discovered an amazing sunscreen called Coppertone Clear, and I love it. It's great, but there are some drawbacks to it. I love how clear it is, but it's just this weird, wacky stuff. It's like a gel. It's like a dry gel. It's kind of like an aerogel. It is so bizarre. And one of the aspects of it is that when you put it on, I mean, your skin doesn't feel oily, and it doesn't have the this white tint to it after it's been applied. But it ends up with these little balls, these little gel balls that sort of, if you wipe your face, it gets in your hair, these little pellets, and it gets in my eyebrows, and it even also, these little pellets adhere to my face. It's like I've got, I don't know, it's like I've got like food particles stuck to my chin and stuff, but they're clear pellets. So I don't know the chemistry of of this sunscreen. It's like it's from Mars. It's from outer space. I'm almost convinced that this sunscreen is from outer space. So anyway, I'm still gonna give it the old college try and see what I can do. But one thing I do know is that there is no perfect sunscreen. I wish there was a perfect sunscreen, but there isn't. Wouldn't it be great if there was like a pill that I could take, a sunscreen pill that for the whole day, for 24 hours, I wouldn't get a sunburn, and it would be, all over my body somehow. That would be my dream, to have like a sunscreen pill. That would be amazing. Now, I've heard of people who've spoken about improved resistance to sunburn through say eating tomatoes or eating some other superfood, and that's never panned out for me. I've even heard someone say that one way to make your skin more impervious to sunburn is to drink lots of water, and that hasn't panned out for me either. I think that people are trying to think creatively about sunscreen, but I don't know. It's not working, folks. We need better technology. Although, let me tell you something. Sunscreen technology is really good. They've got they've got it down to a science. And the products that we have just across the board really are really excellent. I think they're excellent because of how effective they are mostly. They're just super duper effective. I mean, when I apply sunscreen and I'm dutiful about reapplying every 2 or 3 hours or whatever, I never get a sunburn. It's fantastic. The technology works. It's powerful technology, and it's just fantastic. It's just since these sunscreens do have some minor drawbacks, and they're super minor. In fact, I feel somewhat embarrassed. These are definitely 21st century problems where, you know, I mean, it's really not that big of a problem that I get these little beads, or my skin is slightly more oily than normal, or, I've got this sort of a pasty white tinting effect going on with my skin afterwards. I mean, that's not really the worst thing ever. It's just somewhat inconvenient. And, naturally, being a human being, I'm interested in optimizing my results. And so it's something for me to think about. But anyway, I am continuously looking out for the best sunscreen. And really, I've got about 3 sunscreens that I'm running right now. I know. I have different suns. I have sunscreen for my face, a sunscreen for my body, and I have sunscreen for, I don't know. And then, of course, I also have a lip balm, which is, I think, 45 SPF, which is amazing. I really wish that I could use lip balm every day. And, of course, I could use lip balm every day. But when I use a lot of lip balm, like day after day after day, what happens is that my lips start cracking. I think they become accustomed to having a petroleum coating, and my lips adapt to that environment, and as a result, my lips can start cracking and getting dry. So I don't wear chapstick every day. In fact, I don't wear chapstick most days. I'll pretty much only wear chapstick if I'm going to be out in the sun, and I'll be wearing an SPF chapstick. So anyway, that's really worked out for me. So now the title of this video, is growing out my hair. And so I'm sort of, right now, the longest lock of my hair goes to just beyond my nose, which is wonderful. I'm super happy about that. I'm really looking forward to these changes in my appearance and sort of rocking my new hairstyle. And right now, I'm getting a sense that where I would like to be is I'd like to be down to chin level. That's as far as I'm going to go, just across the board in terms of the length. And I'm going to be kind of like, I'm going to be like a movie star. Yeah, at least that's the idea. After all, I do live in Southern California. If anyone has the right to look like a movie star, it's me. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So anyway, I think that's as far as I'm going to grow out my hair. So it's not going to be any further than that. I think that I'll probably get there by November or December of this year. So give me another 6 months and I'll totally be there. And between now and then, I'll probably get maybe 1 or 2 haircuts. Sometimes to take a step forward, you've got to take a step back. And I think I will get occasional cuts just to make sure that everything's even. Yeah. So let me tell you, the summer solstice is on its way, and I'm just loving these super long days. I'm loving the fact that it's like 9 o'clock p.m. and it's still twilight outside. I love the light just elongating the days, and it just feels like so much. Every day is filled with so much potential. I can, if I want to on a whim, and it's 8:30 p.m., I can go grocery shopping and feel like I'm going grocery shopping during the daytime. It's great. Especially when it comes to driving around in traffic on the roads. I've got a lot more visibility. I can see other cars. It's really enjoyable. It's easier to walk around on the sidewalk. The days are warmer, so I don't have to bundle up. The other day I went to the store and I didn't even bring my jacket. I know, sounds like no big deal, but usually I do bring my jacket inside grocery stores. I mean, part of the reason is because sometimes in the grocery stores, it's a little cool. It's a little chilly. Because I'm a vegan, or I try to eat vegan, I tend to hang out in the produce aisles. And those produce aisles, well, they can get a little chilly sometimes. They're always refrigerating or chilling the fruit and vegetables. And, being around that all the time means that, you're going to get chilled yourself. And so for me, I try to wear a sweater or a jacket when I go to the grocery store so I can make my selections in comfort. But today, or actually a couple days ago, I went to the grocery store, no jacket, no sweater. So those are all good signs, real good signs. I'm really looking forward to in early July, going camping. In fact, there are a few items I need to pick up. I need to get a battery charger for my iPad so that I'm going to be camping for like 2 weeks. I'm going to definitely need some kind of battery charging device to keep my iPad charged up while I'm on travel. And that's going to be amazing. I do have an amazing life sometimes. I'm just blown away by it. Speaking of amazing life, I just started reading a new book. I'm always reading new books. In fact, I'm listening to a new audiobook. This is a book called Happy by Derren Brown. Now, Emily, you may not know who Derren Brown is, and that's okay. Derren Brown is a magician. This is a happiness book, a self-development book written by a magician. He's a hypnotist. He's out of the UK, and I have admired his work in the past, and I did not know that he was interested in questions of philosophy, psychology, sociology as it relates to happiness. And that's fantastic. So glad. I'm always excited to learn about new authors in the literature that I like to read. Right, I have this genre of personal development and self-development, self-growth that I like to read all the time. And to find out that Derren Brown is an author of one of the books in this particular genre is awesome. I just had no idea. So anyway, I'm sort of already on chapter 4 of his book, Happy, and I'm really liking it. I appreciate his explanatory style. I appreciate his approach. His approach so far has been to discuss some of the philosophical underpinnings of happiness philosophy. He talks about the Stoics, the Epicureans. He talks about the Enlightenment, like the John Locke's, the Alexis de Tocqueville, and other political sort of proponents of happiness and government as it relates to government, to the role of government. And in promoting the happiness of its citizens, things like that. And a lot of it is good reminders, really helpful thinking. One interesting mind experiment that Darren Brown talks about is this one, and we'll play it right now. So this is the mental experiment. It has to do with consumption, conspicuous consumption, and what your particular style of consumption might be in the. And so here's the story. Imagine for a moment in a fantasy world that everyone on the planet disappears. They vanish except for you. So the question is, what do you do next? Now you have the opportunity, with everyone else on the planet gone, you have the opportunity to obtain any object you desire. Like if you wanted the most amazing house on the hill, you could just walk up to that hill and start living in the house because there's nobody else on the planet. If you wanted to own like a Ferrari, you could just walk up to any Ferrari and start driving it around and call it your own. Or if you wanted 10 Ferraris, you could just gather 10 Ferraris together and all of those would be yours. Of course, the catch is there's no one else on the planet. And so, any consumption, any sort of property that you acquire, you wouldn't be able to show it off to anyone because, because there is no one else. So the dominant question here in this mind experiment is, what would you acquire if no one were watching? And I think this is actually a really good mental experiment because I think it asks you a really essential question, and that is, what do you really want, regardless of your peer group, or regardless of who you want to impress. What is it that you really want? I mean, do you really, really want that huge house in the Hamptons? I mean, is it that important to you to have? I asked myself the question, what would I do if I could choose anything I wanted in the world, but there was no one else in the world to share it with or to show off to. And I think this is what I would want. First thing I'd like to do is, first of all, I want to move to a warmer climate. I want to move to a tropical climate. So I was thinking that I probably would move to a place like, I don't know, closer to the tropics. Maybe I was thinking, maybe I'd move to Central America, like Costa Rica. I mean, if there was no one else on the planet, I think I might live, say, between San Diego and Costa Rica, somewhere there. San Diego is kind of like a Mediterranean climate, whereas Costa Rica is definitely tropical. And so I'd probably live there. I'd probably live along the ocean somewhere. And the fact is, I probably would find a home, not exclusive, it wouldn't be like out in the boonies somewhere. It would probably be near a city, because I would want to have access to like the groceries and sources of power and sources of fuel. So I think I would ideally live next to a small to moderate sized city. And I would also probably live near the ocean. Definitely live near the ocean, because that would be a good source of food and recreation. And besides, I just like being next to the ocean. I would think I would choose to be next to an ocean rather than next to a lake. Yeah. And then let's see, what else would I have? I would, because there were no other people around, I would, in fact, most definitely have a dog. I'd get a dog. What kind of dog would I get? I think I'd get something like a golden retriever. Some dog that has a really, I'm sure all dogs have amazing personalities. But I think I'd like one of the most friendly personalities going. And I think a golden retriever would probably be it. So I'd live probably alongside the beach, and near medium-sized city. And I would have a golden retriever, and it would be located in, like a subtropical, a fairly tropical environment. Maybe something somewhere around Puerto Vallarta. Maybe it would be like a little bit like Puerto Vallarta. Yeah, that sounds like a really nice place where the water is warm and the waves are gentle, gentleish. With a golden retriever, I'd have lots of tropical fruit available, lots of bananas and apples. Well, actually, an apple is not a tropical fruit. I might have to live. I might have to there. I will definitely have to be close to an apple orchard. So I'm gonna have apples and carrots, apples and carrots, and fruit, bananas. Oh yeah. So that raises an interesting question. What kind of transportation would I use? Would I use a bicycle? Nah. Well, maybe I would use a bicycle to get around a little bit. But if I really wanted to get around, I would definitely own a car. I think what I would own is like one of those Mercedes Benz, like motorhomes. I think I would definitely own a motorhome. Not one of those big Class 8 pushers, diesel pushers, but something more along the lines of a Class B or a Class C. Now, I don't know what those Mercedes-Benz things are, but I don't know. They impress me. I think I'd probably get one of those. So I'd have a nice home by the beach, one of those Mercedes-Benz motorhomes, and I'd live next to a moderate city with a golden retriever, close to apple orchards, fruit trees, right? Mangoes, all the pineapples I could eat. Oh yeah, this sounds really good. And of course, oranges. Dang, yeah. So I would love to surround myself with fruit trees. So can you see the picture that I'm painting? This I think would be the life of ultimate contentment. Now, the fact is that my ultimate life that I just described, that is a life independent from observation by anyone else. That's kind of the life that I lead right now. I have access to all the fruit that I want. Thankfully, the distribution and sales of fruit is, worldwide. I have access to all kinds of fruit from even my just local grocery store. So thankfully, that's the case. Now, it's true, it's not fruit that I'm picking myself in an apple orchard somewhere, but that's okay. So long as I get the amazing apples, that's good enough for me. I don't have to pick them necessarily. And I live kind of next to the ocean right now, which is amazing. And now the fact is I don't have a golden retriever. And it's just not practical for me right now. I mean, I guess I could get a dog or something like that, but fact is, I kind of live in a small apartment, and I wouldn't want to sort of foist this environment on an unsuspecting little doggy, because it's not the most hospitable environment for an animal like that. So that's okay. The fact is that there are a lot of people, real people, around that I can talk to and relate with, and I don't necessarily need um, a golden retriever at the moment. So that's actually really good news. Let's see, a medium-sized town. I've got access to medium-sized towns. Santa Barbara and San Luis Obispo are close at hand, and that's nice. Now, it's true. I think I would like to live closer to a medium-sized town. The fact that those towns are each an hour away from where I currently live is kind of a hard fact to swallow, but I don't know. I'll survive somehow. So I guess I do wish that I lived in a slightly larger town. Let's see, what else? What's kind of interesting in that thought experiment, I never really did describe the kind of house that I wanted to live in. In that thought experiment where everyone has vanished and I could choose any house that I wanted to live at all, I haven't described the house I want to live in. So let me take a moment to describe the house that I think that I want to live in. Well, here's the facts. It doesn't have to be any kind of special house. And I think what I'd like to do is choose a house with a well outfitted kitchen with lots of counter space. Okay. Yeah. And what else must the house have? Well, it turns out I don't have a lot of standards for houses that I'd like to live in. I'd like it to be practically located next to the apple orchards and next to the beach and next to the city. That's an interesting mix of locations. So for me, it's about getting access to all three of those areas in a practical way. So it's about logistics, it's about proximity. This is not going to be a home that is smack dab in the middle of a medium-sized city, although it could be. It might be on the edge of a medium-sized city. The home itself, I think ideally I wouldn't necessarily like to climb stairs. I mean, I'm thinking of a single floor. Although I wouldn't mind having have a multi-storied home to live in. I don't know what I would just hope that all of the appliances are functional and that the kitchen counter space would be nice to have. I would also like it to be fairly well temperature controlled, so it doesn't get too hot or too cold. I prefer it to be a pretty consistent temperature inside. So it's going to have like central heating and maybe even air conditioning if I'm in a fairly tropical region. It's really about proximity to resources, proximity to grocery stores, proximity to the recreation, proximity to food. Did I say food again? Yeah. One thing would be nice would be have access to a swimming pool. That would be neat to have a swimming pool. I would really like that. Okay, because I enjoy swimming. The house doesn't have to have a swimming pool. I could just be close to some kind of public swimming pool or a gym. In fact, now that I think about it, that would be an important thing to have in a home. I'd like to have some kind of a home gym, or I would like to be located near a gym so that I could do my workouts and things like that. So the fact is, I actually don't have a really strong vision for the home that I would like to live in. I just don't. It would just need to be a place that was situated in an efficient way. so that I could get access to all the resources I wanted. I don't have any specific preferences about the design of the home. Whether it's 1 story, 2 stories, 3 stories, or in an apartment complex, doesn't matter to me. What its design is, whether it's a contemporary design or an old-fashioned design, whether it was made of concrete or wood or even clay, any material, again, doesn't matter so much to me. What color the house is, none of those things matter. What kind of windows the house has, again, whether it has windows or not is not a big deal to me. I just would hope that the stuff in it works okay. So yeah, I don't have any real specific criteria for cars. I mean, for a house. That gets me to think, what about cars? Again, I don't have any real specific criteria. My vehicle would not be a motorcycle. Like I mentioned, it would probably be like a motorhome or a minivan or something like that. Anyway, I think that goes a long way. That description goes a long way to what I would attempt to acquire in a world with no other people in it. And, I like to think that my interests are fairly modest. And the reason my interests are modest is because my needs are modest. That sounds pretty satisfying, all of that entire plan. So long as I get my access to the apples and the carrots, that's going to be a hard stop for me. We'll see. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to this week. I've got a nice meetup group that will be happening at my home this coming Thursday, part of the Lompoc Connections meetup group. And so I'm looking forward to meeting some new people, perhaps, and talking about what I normally talk about. Well, I think I'm going to prepare for the rest of my day. I just want to let you know that, I'm available. If you'd like to go for a walk or go to the park or, play volleyball here or there, or maybe go swimming at the swimming pool, I'm totally up for it. I am, if you'd like to, I'm kind of interested in perhaps even FaceTiming. Now that you have ready access to tablet computer and a cell phone, each with FaceTime access, I would totally be into having a FaceTime conversation. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think we would both get a lot of enjoyment from that. Like I said earlier, I hope your summer vacation is going well so far. And in fact, I hope you are on vacation in some amazing locale, enjoying traveling or just, enjoying your time away, engaging in relaxing activities and recreating. If you have an interest in going on like a 5K run or something like that, either a practice run or a run for setting up for a race, like a color run or something like that, I'd totally be into that. So hit me up if you have an interest in any of those things. And even if you don't, if you'd like to just go out and get a pizza or a burger or an ice cream or something, I'm totally into that. I'm always hungry. It's just the truth, man. It's just the truth. Or if you want to go pick up some apples at the local fruit stand, I'm totally into that. So I'll talk to you later, girl. I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful rest of the week. And keep it up, girl. Seems like you're doing great. Bye bye.